Hi everyone, Kevin here from Golf Guy Reviews, and in the video today we're going to be doing a full review of the Adidas CodeChaos spikeless golf shoe. Now this retails in the UK at the moment for around £129, and there is a lot going for this golf shoe. It's getting really good reviews. My Golf Spy just rated it as their best spikeless golf shoe, and I've given it a good thorough test out on the course so I can let you know my honest opinions on the shoe. If you enjoyed the video today, make sure you hit that like button and let's jump straight in. Now about a month ago I did a full preview of the shoe going through all the design and technical elements, so if you want to check out that video first you can click the link above. I'm not going to go too deep today in regards to the look and the style and the design of the shoe. I'm just going to lightly cover it off now. So this is an aggressively styled spikeless shoe. Adidas have done that on purpose. They're trying to really stand out from the market. They've already got their XT SL, which is a more traditional looking spikeless shoe. So, you know, they wanted to release something that actually really stands out and gives you a completely different option in their range. And they do a really good job of that. In regards to the styling, you know, there are lots of different colors available. You've also got the high top version in the boa. And this here is probably the cleanest, most toned down style that I've got here in the white. And you know, it's not going to be for everyone perhaps, so this is really going to stand out on the course, not look like a traditional golf shoe but perform like a traditional golf shoe. However, one thing to note with this, because of the nature of it being all white, is that as you can kind of see here, it is a little bit tricky to keep clean. So this kind of upper here with the hot melt overlay on it, that's nice and easy to keep clean. That actually wipes down really easy. But I've just been using these on, you know, dry days at the moment. We're having quite a kind of warm May and June here at the moment. And you can kind of see here that the exposed mesh material does kind of mark up and, you know, discolor quite easily. And again, you can see on the tongue, it's kind of grayed out already. That, you know, is going to be something you might want to be aware of, because it's going to be a little bit tricky to keep these looking box fresh. And in some of the other colorways, actually they use darker material, so you're not going to have that problem. But it's definitely with these white ones, as well as the white and lime ones, you know, they are going to discolor pretty quickly. Personally, I really like the style and design of the shoe. I think it looks great, and I really like the fact that there's nothing else really out there on the market. So you're definitely going to stand out and people are going to notice this shoe when you wear it, even more so in some of the bolder colors that they've chosen. If I had to be hypercritical of the shoe, the one kind of element that I'm not so keen on is the heel area here and this kind of pull tab at the back. I just think that the shoe has been really nicely put together. It looks great, and then you've just got this kind of cheap pull tab at the back that sticks out quite far, and you know, it hasn't got anything going on with it. I would have thought maybe they could have put some kind of pattern or design element on it, but as I say, that's just me being really hypercritical. But overall, I think the shoe personally looks great. Let me know down in the comments, what do you think of the shoe? Would you wear this out on the course? Do you like the look and style of it? So just to recap the upper material, first of all, you can see here that on the top, for most of the shoe here, you've got this kind of overlay synthetic material, and that is overlaying this mesh material on the shoe. And you can see here, you've got that mesh on the tongue as well. Now, this is a really comfortable design for the shoe, and actually I'm really impressed. These are comfortable right out of the box. There's no kind of breaking in on this upper. They're just nice and comfortable. You're good to go. One point I wanted to make about the upper materials, and that's about the waterproofness of the shoe. Now, I would say that this is very much designed to be a summer shoe. Looks very much like a summer shoe, but it does say that the shoes are waterproof. So we haven't had any rain here in the UK, which is just really unique. Normally it will rain even on the sunniest of days, but I haven't managed to actually test these shoes out in the rain. So I've had to kind of come up with a few tests myself. First of all, I wanted to just test the waterproofness of the bottom of the shoe. So I stood in the bath, and you can see here, actually I had zero problems whatsoever. There was no water coming in from the bottom of the shoe at all in regards to where the midsole meets the upper. So they did a really good job there. If you're going to be standing in any kind of really damp underfoot conditions, these shoes are going to hold up. Then I wanted to actually test the waterproofness of this mesh material on the tongue as well. So I poured some water over it, and actually, although the upper material is nice and waterproof and there's no problems there whatsoever, This mesh material on the tongue is not waterproof. So as you can kind of see here, actually my foot, when I poured some water over that tongue area, it just got soaked. It soaked straight through. So yeah, something to be aware of. This tongue area isn't waterproof. So for the majority of times you're going to be out on the course, you're going to be absolutely fine. If it's wet, dewy conditions underground, but it's not actually raining, you're going to be totally fine. But if you do get caught in a heavy downpour in these shoes, then your feet are going to get wet because there's no kind of water repellency that I saw when I tested on the tongue area. So again, that's just something to be aware of. If you're enjoying this video today, hit that like button. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to my channel, because not only will you stay up to date on all my latest reviews of golf shoes, clothing and tech, I'm actually going to be doing a giveaway pretty soon because I'm almost at 500 subscribers. So a massive thank you to everyone that's subscribed so far, and make sure you subscribe to my channel because very, very soon I'm going to be releasing a video where you can have a chance to win some golf shoes as well as some nice new golf apparel. So make sure you subscribe. Again, just talking about the comfort of the shoe, in the ankle and the heel area, again, these were really comfortable right out of the box. I didn't experience any blisters whatsoever, no rubbing, anything at all like that. These are a really, really comfortable shoe. And again, with the tongue here, you can kind of see it's quite a thin tongue on the front, but it is nice and wide. And again, I found them really, really comfortable. So I've got to say, in regards to the comfort of the shoe and the way it fits my feet, that's really impressive. While we're talking about how these shoes fit my feet, I got these shoes in a UK 9 and they fit me just about okay. You might want to consider going up half a size. If you can, I would definitely recommend trying these shoes before you buy them, or at least before you use them, because they do fit very, very snug. Now, if you actually like a little bit more wiggle room in the toe box area and don't like your shoes kind of, really clamping down on your feet, then these might not be the shoes for you, because Adidas have actually designed these specifically, I would say, so that they do give you a real kind of tight lockdown fit. These don't come in a wide fit version in the CodeChaos. You can get a wide fit version in the Sport, which is a slightly different style of the shoe. Look quite similar, but they have some different design elements, and I haven't had the opportunity to actually test those myself yet, so I can't say how they perform. But in the CodeChaos, these don't come in a wide fit shoe, so if you want a little bit more room, you might want to consider going up a size. So one other area of the upper that I wanted to talk about was the breathability of the shoe. Now the mesh area, which is predominantly on the tongue, is nice and breathable, kept the top of my foot, nice and cool, not a problem whatsoever. I was using these shoes on some quite hot days here in the UK, and what I would say is that kind of in the toe box area, my feet were getting quite warm. So this overlay material here, it doesn't really have that much breathability to it that I found. So again, if you're looking for a pair of summer spikeless shoes that are going to be the absolutely coolest shoes out on the market in regards to breathability, this probably isn't necessarily going to be the most breathable pair of shoes. They didn't bother me in regards to the amount my feet were kind of warming up in the toe box area. It was absolutely fine. It was a little bit noticeable, but it wasn't a problem at all. But again, I wanted to highlight, given that this is a full in-depth review of the shoes, that this kind of material here that they've got on the overlay of the shoe isn't necessarily the most breathable material. Now, I want to talk about how these shoes feel underfoot as well as how they perform out on the golf course. So first of all, we've got to highlight that these are a full-length boost midsole, which means they're going to be incredibly soft, give you that kind of cloud-like feeling when you're walking out on the golf course. So, that's always a lovely sensation. If you haven't tried Boost before, I really recommend you go out and try a pair because, there's nothing else really on the market that quite feels like it. What I would say is in regards to other Boost trainers and golf shoes that I've tried before, these aren't necessarily the softest Boost trainers, and I think that's probably got something to do with the way that the grip on the shoes kind of come up on the both lateral and medial sides of the shoes. Now that's on there to really kind of help give you stability and make sure that Boost kind of isn't wobbling about too much because it is such a soft material. But actually, I think maybe that has resulted in these feeling perhaps just a little bit firmer compared to other Boosts, but that's not a problem whatsoever for me. I still think these are some of the most comfortable golf shoes underfoot that I've ever tried. In regards to the inner sole, and actually you've got quite a kind of thin looking inner sole here. There's nothing kind of too particularly special going on with it. You just kind of, does the job and make sure that the shoes stay nice and comfortable, but it doesn't need to be a particular thick or special inner sole because you've got that full length boost. So I mentioned the way that the rubber grip kind of comes up on the side of the shoes, and that's there to help with the stability of the shoe. And I've got to say that actually I was really impressed with the stability of the shoe. I felt that I could put a lot of force through these shoes, and I didn't have any worries that my foot was going to kind of spill out over the sides of the upper or over the top of the Boost material there. So I was really impressed with that. These actually, to be honest, quite impressively, are going to rival the XT SLs. Even though that's much more of a kind of, you know, structured, classic looking golf shoe with those 3 straps across the midsole of the foot there. Compare that to these, and actually this upper material has just got quite a decent amount of strength to it, so you get a good amount of stability. Another thing that helps with the stability as well is that you'll probably notice that the shoes lace up quite wide on the CodeChaos. And again, so when you do them up nice and tight, you're not really kind of pinching the top of the foot, you're lacing from quite a wide position on the foot and kind of really hugging that upper over the top of your foot. So again, that really helps with the stability. The grip on the shoe, actually, there's a good amount of flex on it, but actually it's, you know, quite a good bit of resistance to it too as well. So that helps us with the stability of the shoe. And then lastly, you've got this kind of X traction plate there on the bottom. And again, that's just helping with the stability in the kind of middle of the shoe area. So overall, I was actually really impressed with the stability of the shoe. And you can see why several tour pros, including Dustin Johnson, have actually switched out to the CodeChaos because that's giving them more than enough stability that they need. And to be honest, the amount of force they put through their shoes, you know, for the average golfers like you and me, these are going to be absolutely fine. Now lastly, and probably most importantly, is how these perform in regards to the grip and the traction that they give you out of the course. And I'm pleased to say that they perform really well. Adidas have got this twist grip technology, which is this kind of chaotic pattern that you've got here on the orange section of the shoe. And I've got to say that I was really impressed with the amount of grip that these give. Over all the rounds that I played in these shoes, I didn't slip once. And actually, these are probably some of the most grippiest spikeless golf shoes that I've ever tried. So if you're worried about having a spikeless golf shoe that is not going to give you enough grip, you don't necessarily need to worry with these shoes, because actually I was really impressed. Now, of course, if you want the most amount of grip, then you've still got to stick with a spiked golf shoe. But for the majority of golfers out there, these spikeless shoes are going to perform as well as anything they've probably ever had before. Certainly in dry conditions as well, where, you know, we're in the summer now and the ground is a lot firmer. Actually, these performed really well. And even in the winter, to be fair, I wouldn't have a problem using these and I wouldn't worry too much about, you know, slipping too much. If it was in the wettest of wet conditions, then I'm still going to go with a spiked golf shoe. But if it's just damp conditions and you want to use these, I don't think you're really going to have much of a problem. You're going to get on absolutely fine. In regards to how they feel on feet, and they feel like quite a lightweight shoe, quite nice for summer. I stuck them on the scales and they come in at 370 grams. So, you know, not the lightest of lightweight golf shoes out there, but, you know, they do a good job there and they do feel nice and light on feet. I compared that against Adidas's other leading spikeless shoes, the Tour 360 XT SLs, and they weighed in at 435 grams. So, you know, significantly heavier on those shoes there, but you'd expect that because, you know, they're using a lot more leather materials, it's a lot heavier, it's a much chunkier kind of sole pattern on that one, and is really designed and looking to give you a more traditional kind of golf shoe feel. These are definitely trying to feel more like a pair of trainers, but giving you the performance of a golf shoe, which actually I think Adidas have done a really good job on, because I think they've totally succeeded. So there you go, that's my full Adidas CodeChaos golf shoes review. I really hope you enjoyed the video today, so make sure you hit that like button if you did. Let me know down in the comments what you think of this shoe. Have you got them? How did they perform for you? Be really interested to know. And if you haven't done so already, make sure you subscribe to my channel so you can keep up to date in all my latest reviews of golf shoes, clothing and tech right here on Golf Guy Reviews.